Hey there, Aries. Here's your weekly horoscope for February 28th to March 6th. Let's talk about Chiron first, since Chiron is an asteroid, or as they're known now, Centaur, and it is the only, we're going to call it a planet, in Aries. Now, what Chiron is doing all week is in a very positive aspect to Saturn and a minor positive aspect to the planet Uranus. Now, this is very important because with Saturn squaring Uranus, well, pretty much all year off and on, Chiron in Aries in these softer aspects does kind of smooth out some of the rough edges for Aries for this week. Chiron can sometimes bring up issues of woundedness, either from the past, present, I suppose its relationship to the future is that it is the wounds that we carry with us that sometimes will dictate what we do in our present and our future. But with Chiron and Aries making these softer aspects to Saturn and Uranus, there is opportunity for Aries people to begin to take a good look at some of the structures in your life and some of the ways that you may live your life, some of the people and situations that you're involved with. And Chiron in this placement for you might actually help you bring some resolution or perhaps smooth the way a little bit more for you in this coming week and perhaps off and on all year, because Chiron's going to be in Aries for quite a while. The important thing to remember is to try to avoid making any inner wounds that you have worse. In fact, I do recommend that if you feel that you're carrying some hurts from the past or even the recent past, if somebody hurt you or caused you some upset, you probably should take a good look and explore that and see if there's ways that you can at least come to terms with it within your mind, or perhaps even make some efforts to resolve these issues, especially if they are in relationships. Sometimes the best way to deal with it is to walk away from people who are more in a mood to wound you, and that sometimes is the best solution for Aries. We have the Sun in Pisces this week squaring the Moon's North Nodes from Wednesday on. Not a great aspect in general. The Sun represents ourself, our ego, and in kind of this difficult aspect to these points in the horoscope, they're not other planets, but they are very important because sometimes they bring up issues from karma, either past life issues or even in this present life, if somebody way back in your past, kind of relating to what I said already about Chiron, sort of shows up again. It could be that a situation or a person shows up this week that reminds you of some of this wounding. And in fact, some of this wounding may be involving past life relationships with, if it's a person, for example, that you're having issues with. If it's a business, a company, government, or what have you, sometimes there's not too much we can do to fight these these structures in life that do have so much power over us. I mean, one person taking on the government, for example, that would probably be a very long, drawn-out affair, and also a lot of pain and a lot of cost to do so because, well, the government has a lot more money than most of us and can certainly win any legal battles for the most part. But sometimes we hear that Aries, who are the pioneers and the trendsetters of the zodiac, sometimes they do take on these huge fights that benefit the rest of us. If you're willing to do that, Aries, I think you need to explore, is it really worth it for you, depending on your current life situation. With the Mercury in Aquarius conjunct Jupiter all week, that's actually a really nice aspect. Let me clarify. First of all, it does tend to give people a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, and Aquarius rules a part of your zodiac that deals with your hopes and plans and wishes for the future. So very likely there's going to be a lot of thinking, talking, coming up with ideas on ways that you can improve your lot in life. And that's a very good thing. The only problem with Mercury conjunct Jupiter is it tends to be too much talk and trying to do too much at once. So I really recommend, Aries, that you look at how you can prioritize what you're getting involved with this week. As well, Mercury is making a very positive trine to the north node of the moon until Thursday. So it is a good time for you to talk about issues with people. And as I said, the week will be full of a lot of communication in general. Venus is making soft aspects to Uranus this week from Monday to Thursday. And this is the time that you can let out a little bit of crazy, a little bit of yourself that is a little bit odd or fun. And it is a fun aspect. And in fact, this week you may be exploring new ways to have fun. We all are very much challenged still by restrictions due to this pandemic. So Uranus is a planet of technology, and it is very likely that you may find that you're utilizing technology even more, but for fun rather than work and other situations perhaps this week. Until Tuesday, your ruling planet Mars is still trine Pluto, so there's still a good time for you to begin some new ventures that would probably end up being very positive for you in the long run. And then Mars is going to go into the sign of Gemini on Thursday, which for you puts that in a house that deals with travel, education. And boy, I know most areas I speak to these days, they're just itching to get out and on the road and have a lot more activity again. So you may begin to think about or plan some future trip this week, especially with Mercury conjunct Jupiter as well. That kind of adds to that desire on your part, perhaps. Jupiter again making more positive aspects this week. Jupiter is a planet of opportunity, and it is usually beneficial. At its worst, it can be too much of a good thing, and with Aries and other signs, it can be that you're trying to do too much all at once. Do be careful with that, because Saturn is still squaring Uranus off and on, very strongly till April 10th for sure. And in this week, it could be that you do bite off a little bit more than you can chew, so take some care there. Neptune is only aspecting the moon again this week with a few different aspects as the moon travels there was a full moon on Saturday, but from this Sunday on, the moon will carry through Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and then end up in Sagittarius by the end of the week. So basically from Sunday to Tuesday and Thursday to Saturday might be a better time for you to get involved with emotional situations or talks that might go in an emotional direction. The other days of the week, not so much. With Pluto finishing its trine to Mars on Tuesday, it then isn't really making any major aspects in the zodiac for the rest of the week. So in general, it is probably going to be a more positive week than it has been for a lot of people lately, and I certainly hope that it is for you, Aries. Good luck.